Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 291 of the HP Podcast. I'm Ben, and with me here today are the two most beautiful boys you've ever seen. Dave, first of all, greetings. Welcome on in.
Thank you. 291. We're getting
291.
closer.
We're getting close
300
to another arbitrary number.
It's It's a special number.
It is a special number.
You of all people should feel, pretty special about that milestone having been on. Because by the time we get to 300, you will have been on 299 of those episodes.
Unless something happens.
I'm not going to keep
it's always
reminding
possible.
you about that one episode you missed, but
that's fine.
It's 299 episodes, Ben. That's pretty good.
Technically, if you really want to get technical, Dave, there were some episodes that were non-numbered episodes of the HP Podcast.
Okay.
Back in the day, we did some interviews and we did some like pack specials, and we did so I've been on all those too.
Yeah, but
so I think
non-numbered episodes are not canon, so they don't count.
No, they're not canon, but they're bonus points. So like all of them combined can add up to like 1, I think,
Yeah.
or 0.98 if we really want to still not give me a perfect score. That's fine.
Sure. Yeah.
Brandon.
What's up,
who has
guys?
been on more episodes than Dave. Hello. What's going on?
Not too much, man. How you doing? How we doing tonight, boys? Feeling
I'm hanging
good?
in there. Yeah. I want to go into one of our weekly segments here where we talk about a funny Instagram reel we saw. We do that every week, of course. This is definitely not the first time I'm bringing that up. And while we were waiting, like during the intro, while we were waiting to go live, I saw this video of these like two little kids standing with something on top of their heads. They had like a toy truck on top of their heads. And the one's like whipping something around, and he whips it around and, takes it off the top of the kid's head, like precisely. It didn't hurt him, knocked it right off. And the other kid started whipping it around, just smacked him right in the face with it. And I was like, Jesus. Why is it so fun? I mean, I don't like going on Twitter and accidentally seeing like this guy got beheaded by a ice cream truck. Like, I don't like that kind of stuff. But like when you see people just get injured, not life-threateningly, but they just get destroyed, especially when they're little kids and it's like brothers,
Yeah.
There's something about that. It's a little special.
Yeah, maybe it's because you have two boys that it's like
Maybe
that it hits hard extra. But yeah, there's really levels to this shit. I mean, you got like a whole like multi-million-dollar industries like Fail Army, I'm sure on YouTube makes millions of dollars a year, whoever runs that.
Right.
But yeah, just occasionally, just to kind of touch on what you said, Ben, I don't always like to see when people get maimed on the internet, especially if it's really bad, but sometimes it's like a car wreck, like you can't look away. Mm-hmm. Lately,
sometimes it's a car wreck.
Dude, lately Twitter's been feeding me like people dying, and I don't I don't really like it that much. I don't know what it is, man. Or like industrial accidents. It was a couple days ago, and I'm like, what do I got to do to get this shit the fuck off my page? Like this lady, there was like a press, and she like took her arm and stuck it in the press, and then the press went down, and then she like pulled it out, and her arm was like flat as a pancake. But like her hand was still intact. Like it was, dude. So like Twitter does feed this shit to you every once in a while. I don't like seek it out, but you watch one fucking video where you watch one video and then you're maimed forever.
Yeah.
So
I really like. There's a lot of people who are like, Twitter's trash now ever since Elon bought it and whatever. There are some issues, whatever, but like I by and large have really no problems with Twitter. I don't really care about who owns it, honestly. I don't care about who owns any product I use unless they're like actually doing despicable acts to other people. Anyway, totally different subject, but it works pretty well, except for the algorithm goes a little too hard. They need to tune it back because like I'll linger on one video I've never seen like that style of post or whatever, and then like I'll close Twitter, and the next time I go on it, the entire For You page is like, oh, you clicked on toy cars? You want to see all the toy? You're a toy car collector.
Dude.
It's like, I don't, but you want me to, apparently.
There's this page called the Spud Brothers, and they're two guys who own a food truck somewhere in the UK, and they just sell baked potatoes. And they're not even special baked potatoes; like they literally just have like cheese or beans and butter, and that's kind of it. I watched one video, and now every single day I get multiple Spud Brothers video. The fucked up thing is I can't stop watching them. And now I really want baked potatoes.
See, it gave you what you wanted.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, we had guys like that in our town. They were Spud Brothers, but it wasn't because of potatoes. But, dude, you linger on one Twitter baddie too long.
Yeah.
You linger on one Twitter baddie too long. Now, I'm not complaining, but you linger, and then for the next 10 days, nothing but ass.
Dude, the other day, I saw a picture of like Kanye and his wife.
Oh, dude.
I don't know her name.
Yeah.
And I was like, I backed up. I was like, wait a second. Is she wearing nothing?
She does that all the time, dude.
And sure enough, she was wearing something, but you could barely tell. Anyway, my point there is like, because I went back and looked at a picture of a near naked woman, just because it's Kanye's wife, like I had to, whatever.
You don't
That's
have
all
to
I'm
justify
seeing.
it to
That's
us,
all.
buddy. I'm not.
No,
your
I know,
wife.
I know. Well, I don't know how to say it. Bianca is not really my cup of tea.
She's fine.
She's fine. So it wasn't like I was going, but it was like you see a naked woman with Kanye in a raincoat, you want to find out what happened. And then like the next, it was ruined. I had to go out and like seek out other things because I was like,
You had to
Please don't.
seek out the car videos.
yeah, I went and looked for the
Model
toy car
train,
videos after
model
that.
train videos or something like
Spud Brothers.
Spud Brothers. Just desperately searching for Spud Brothers after this. Just like, please, anything.
YouTube can be just as bad, honestly, sometimes, because there was a time, Brandon, you and I and our buddy Justin were going real hard on Minecraft for a while, and it had been a few years since I played Minecraft. They added in some new stuff. I was also going looking for some mods. Couldn't remember where to find certain stuff, and I was watching some videos, and I like maybe watched 2 or 3, and then for weeks, after not clicking on any more, weeks, like 4 of the 8 videos in my top suggested stuff on YouTube was just Minecraft tutorials and stuff. And I'm like, please make it stop. Those people make so much money though. They're getting so many views on Minecraft. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it probably has to do with saturation too. It's like
Yep.
there are so many videos. We're just going to spam your page with as many as we can and hope that we catch you.
Yeah, indeed. Well, thank you for indulging me in my weekly segment of Twitter posts I just saw. I think I changed the name of that since we started, but appreciate it. If you want to catch more of those every week, you can do so by being here Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube Live at either Ben as Handsome YT or Handsome Phantom. We live stream on both of those. If you are just an audio listener and you want to keep it that way, you get the audio for free on Thursday mornings around 11 o'clock. If you want to get it a day early, actually more like a day and a half early, you can sign up for our Patreon over at patreon.com/handsomephantom. And sign up for as little as $1 a month. You get ad-free early access. Sign up for a little more than that if you want, but you don't have to. You don't have to do any of that, but we would appreciate it. Helps us keep things going. We got a bill coming up here. Our annual hosting renewal, it's a big one. All right. We got the money in the bank. I'm not going to lie to you, but we need money for next year. Okay. So help us out if you can. You can also help us out by just hanging out with us. You can go over and join the Discord at handsomephantom.com/Discord. We appreciate everybody being there, hanging out, talking about video games, making fun of Dave for liking Skull and Bones. Dave, did I show you? Did I tell you that I got Skull and Bones?
Did you hear the news?
Did you hear the news, Dave? Have you heard the good news about Skull and Bones? You're muted, Dave. Dave, you muted yourself a little while ago and you're
Sorry,
ranting at me.
My baby was upstairs and she was crying. But
Did you just ask her nicely to be quiet?
Yeah. Can you please stop? You owning a game and you playing a game, there's a big gap between those two sometimes. So I'm not. I'll be excited when I turn on my PlayStation and I see that Ben is playing Skull and Bones. And that
Dave,
can be
I've played 2 hours of this, okay?
Have you? Oh, good
I have.
for you.
I got this for $10 at Best Buy. And I figured I'm never going to find it cheaper than that. Like, is it even conceivable that Skull and Bones would be cheaper than $10 at some point? Not really.
Five Below.
Because by the time it's less than $10, it will be no longer online. So it will be coasters. So, I went for it. Limited edition from Best Buy. I don't know what that means. I'm just playing the game.
I'm surprised it's not like behind you, like framed kind of thing.
Like I just said
very,
it. Like
very
I
special
just-
games, kind of.
Quad A. Is that your only Quad A game that you own
It's
physically?
the only dude. That's the only physical quad A game I own. Actually, it's kind of a. I don't want to.
Kind of a big deal.
I've got a collector's case coming for it, guys. All right,
You're setting it off to be graded.
Oh, gee.
Dave. I don't want to get too far into this
Okay.
because I'm not even going to bring this up into what we've been playing because I haven't seen enough of it. But I want to ask you, since we're talking about Skull and Bones here, right at the top of the show. This is what this show's all about. It's asking Dave about Skull and Bones. I was playing the game for like 2 hours, like I said, and I'm going to these little, like in the opening area, these little like beaches, and go into the vendors or finding the stuff or whatever, delivering crates, whatever they make you do at the beginning. And I have it not on, I have it on the higher frame rate mode. Is that the performance mode? I think, and it looks so god awful. I thought something was wrong with my PlayStation. Is that your experience as well?
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Okay.
Now it's graphics really aren't important, Ben.
No, understood. Yeah.
But when you're sailing around in your ship, which that's the important part, it
Yeah.
looks pretty good. But
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
it's rough around the edge, and the pop in is atrocious. It's some of the worst I've ever seen. So it just squints.
Right,
That's
right.
kind of the best way to play Skull, or like play really far away.
Dude,
Right.
have an eye patch. Only look at it with one eye.
Yeah,
Only look at it with one eye. Hopefully use your bad eye.
yeah.
So then it's cutting down the 30 frames down to 15. Really, that's how that works, right? If you only have one eye, it's 15 frames instead of 30.
I'm a doctor, or I'm not a doctor.
Anyway, I switched it over to the other mode, whatever it was called, graphical mode or fidelity mode,
Quality.
quality, and I was like, no, I'd rather it be disgusting looking than this.
Yeah, Quad A
Garbage.
gaming is really all about gameplay, Ben. So
Okay,
adjust your
Understood.
expectations accordingly.
boys, let's talk about some video games. Actually, first, before we get into any like news stories, opening night live happened earlier today. Jeff Keighley took the stage. I wanted to get into that and see what you guys thought of the show first. If you got a chance to watch it, that's great. If you didn't and you just looked at some of the highlights, that's good too. What did you think? Do you have any thoughts about the show? Brandon, I don't think you were at work when it was on, so I don't think you had a chance to
Yeah.
watch it. But did you see anything? We'll get into specifics later, but anything that really stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fairly interesting show. We knew pretty much everything, a lot of the stuff anyway, that was going to be there, and a lot of the stuff that was going to be there is stuff we already knew about. So it's not like I was like super surprised by anything or blown away by anything. There definitely was some surprising things for me. Some looks at games that I didn't really know much about to begin with. I just knew were coming, and kind of opened my horizons to them a little bit, I guess. But definitely some good things. Definitely not poo-pooing it. I thought there were some interesting things there, but like nothing that blew my socks off. It certainly wasn't an Xbox showcase. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It certainly was not an Xbox showcase. I'll tell you that.
Dave, what about you? What'd you think?
Yeah, my expectations for Gamescom and Opening Night Live have been tempered. This isn't the biggest show of the year, and I don't think it's really even up there with the Game Awards or the Summer Games Fest, but it's a nice little in-between that we get right before the craziness that is September and October. But yeah, I thought it was a good show. Maybe a tad too long. We're starting to see these shows get longer, and I've always felt like an hour to an hour and a half is perfect. But 2 hours I think is pushing it a little bit. But I mean, overall, coming in with low expectations, I was fairly intrigued by what I saw. I also like that Jeff had a co-host.
Yeah, he usually does it O&L.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but it was kind of nice to see it switched up a little bit from just the Jeff talking head for too long, because he is charming and everybody likes him, but he can get old pretty quick. So I like that they use somebody else for a little bit there. But yeah, I mean, overall,
I didn't know her. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't know her either, but I know that I was watching Brad's stream of it, and somebody in there said she's like one of the esports. She's not a shoutcaster, but like a host for it.
Yeah. Okay. She's good.
So she's
I
well
like her.
known. I just don't know her.
Yeah, she was good. But overall, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10 for a show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't have any expectations, so there were a couple things there that were cool to see. There was a moment at the beginning, which maybe this is going to be one of your games, I don't know, where I was making a joke in Brad's stream about, Duke Nukem, where I turned the show off 1 out of 10, and then they start flashing up some like similar colors to Duke Nukem, and then they show the Gearbox logo, which Gearbox right now owns the IP, and I was like, I was joking, but like, could it be? And it wasn't. It was much worse than that.
Something worse. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But let's go around. We'll go with Dave first. Dave, was there any games, specific games that you saw that you were like, that's for me?
Yeah, I'll start with probably. I don't know if I'd call this the least popular one, but Dune Awakening.
Brother,
This is
you stole mine right out from under.
Sorry. This is I as soon as this game was announced, I signed up for the beta, and that was I think a year and a half ago, or at least a year and a half ago. So today was the first time we actually got gameplay, and I read Dune the book, and I've seen the first movie. I haven't seen part two yet, but I'm pretty interested in this universe at this point in time. And my one concern with this game was how are they going to make a desert planet interesting? Because it's literally just a big desert. And I think the main takeaway I got from seeing the gameplay today is they've succeeded in making this an interesting planet with the survival mechanics where you have to seek out shade, other players running around, sandworms. They seem to have a lot of interiors mapped out, like Erikian sort of interiors for you to run around in, and obviously you're making your own structures. So I think there's enough meat on the bone to make it an interesting setting. Also from the gameplay, it kind of gave me like older school MMO vibes, which is cool. And then you add in modern survival elements, and I think this is a game that's got, for me anyways, a lot of potential. The one disappointing part is it's only coming to PC at first, which kind of sucks for me. I don't know if I can run it. Maybe I will. But I may actually want to upgrade for this game because this is moving pretty high on my list, and I think it's coming out early next year. So, yeah, Dune Awakening was a big one for me.
Yeah, I think they said early next year for PC and then other for consoles later on. I don't think that even if this game can run on consoles, it's a game I would want to play on a console. Right. This very much seems like a PC game to me, but yeah, PvE, VP, and also crafting, survival type stuff. I'm in danger.
Yeah, and those large scale like spice battles, those look really cool because those are going to be like world events, and
right.
When you get that stuff in old MMOs where like shit just pops up and then like a million players just flock to one area on the map. Right. So yeah, and I was thinking of you, Ben, because I know you're a survival guy. So this is going to be good.
Yeah, you pair survival crafting whatever with online game, and then you throw in one of the greatest IPs in the world. It's going to be trouble. But the only thing, Dave, I had wrong with this trailer and maybe this game in general is not at all about the game. This is totally a me hang up. It's a lore hang up in that you can't really effectively always use guns in the Dune world because of the shields that they wear. You have to use swords because they're faster. It's the whole thing. And I was like, well, there's a lot of guns in this trailer. Granted, you can use guns. It can be done, obviously. But that's just a nerd thing, I have to say. But other than that, Dave, I totally agree with you. This was going to be my very first pick as well. It looks great, and I think I signed up for the beta as well. But after this show, I have to go and look because I need to play this game for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you, fellas. I really knew nothing about Dune before watching the first two movies, and was kind of taken back and really surprised by the world and the lore. And when I said at the top of the show that I was kind of surprised by something, it was really this trailer. Not having known much about the game at all, gameplay wise, it was really interesting to see what they're going to do with it. So I'm with you guys. There's nothing you guys didn't say that I didn't agree with. It looks really cool. I don't think I'm quite as excited as you guys are, but I do agree it looks really cool, even as someone who's like a newcomer to the IP.
Brandon, let's go to you next. What kind of stuck out to you?
I mean, I'll just start from like my most standout, just because I'm probably the most excited for this. I don't think it was the most impressive. I'm going to preface with that, but I was really excited to see the Civ 7 presentation. Really, really genuinely excited. A lot of the stuff was really cool. I thought that mostly it looked pretty good. I love that there's going to be a new mechanic where at the end of every age you can kind of pivot your civilization to be a different civilization from what I understand, and to potentially maybe maybe you're trying to be cultural in one era, and maybe you're trying to wars popping off, and you're like, okay, now I want to be military, and so I'm going to switch to this civ that has a military bonus, and I think that's kind of cool and like how civilizations work. A lot of the times civilizations don't stick around for more than a couple hundred years. Not all of them anyway. And so that's kind of neat and something new. I thought that overall, like looking at it from like how you typically play it, I thought it looked pretty cool. I thought the fog of war was interesting. The Egyptian civilization had like a cool scarab type tiles and stuff like that. So I'm hoping each civilization has like a different fog of war essentially. That would be kind of cool and unique. Something I didn't really think looked too great was in the past, the character models always looked like super cartoony and were never really that animated unless they were in like a cutscene almost. And in this one, I thought that when the Civ leaders were talking to each other, it actually looked kind of bad. Like it looked kind of old, which is not how I felt in other ones. But also, they weren't like interacting with each other in any of the other ones. So I don't know about that. I guess it's not done, so we'll see how that continues to develop. But huge, huge, huge Civ fan. Really, really excited for this. And didn't really Civ 6 didn't really land too well for me. I was more of a Civ 5 guy, so I'm hoping these changes will be like an added bonus for me. So really looking forward to this. And I think if I'm remembering it correctly, I'm going to play on PC. Obviously, mouse and keyboard is like the best way to do this. But isn't it like a simultaneous launch this time? Am I remembering that correctly?
Didn't notice that, but it might be.
I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember something coming up about that. But that'd be super cool too, because from what I understand, all the other ports kind of get the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they're catering to the people that the majority of the audience is probably on PC, but still, I'm hoping the console people get some love too. So
I know that Civ 6 definitely came to other platforms later on. Famously, I bought Civ 6 for $15 for Switch at GameStop because we were going to LA and Dustin was like, I got it, you should get it too. And so I got it, and then we were like going to play it on the plane because, the local network thing on the Switch. And I don't remember what his reaction was, but I opened it up and like tried to boot it up, and I was like, ain't no way. I'm not playing this on the Switch. It wasn't the performance actually, even. It was just the controls. I couldn't adjust to it. They're probably not bad. It just wasn't for me. But now I have Civ 6 on Switch for $15, so can't really complain too badly there.
Absolutely.
For me, this is not like a big, huge, hey, everybody look game that's coming, but I'm really amped for Age of Mythology Retold. I am a big Age of Mythology fan. I'm a big RTS city builder kind of person as well. I know that's a shocker to everybody. But the fact that like this game was one of the... I played Age of Empires first, but then I played Age of Mythology as a kid. And, middle school, high school, something like that. And just really loved it. And the fact that they're redoing this, and it's been a long time since they originally announced it, which hopefully that means it's just got a lot of care into it. It's not just a quick and easy, like, port or something. It's a full remaster, supposedly, and I'm hoping that the amount of time it's taken them is going to mean good things. So I'm very excited for that. It comes out in just a few short weeks. I think it's... Let me look at the date here. September 4th. September 4th, so...
Damn, that's soon.
Pre-orders are live with Premium Edition offering 7 days of advanced access. I'm not that excited for it, that I'll be getting it for 7 days early. I have plenty of other things to play. But I'm just excited because to go back and try to play the original, I don't know how you even can right now. Maybe you can. I haven't looked recently, but I haven't played it in so long that I'm really hoping that's going to be good. It's going to reignite those things. Radek in chat wants to know thoughts on the Amazon show that's clearly teasing a PlayStation All-Stars episode.
Dude,
I'm assuming he means secret level.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
looked fucking awesome, bro. Legit. The people that made Love, Death, and Robots,
Yeah.
and I think it's many studios. I think that's kind of like the shtick of it, is that there's a bunch of different styles and that there's a bunch of different people working on it. This is fucking awesome because even though every episode of that show is not created equal, there's definitely episodes that are much better than others. They're all great. Legitimately, they're all great. Some of the best blips in like little tiny episodes, like little shorts that I've seen of animation ever are from that show. Like they're so creative, they're so inventive. And the fact that we're getting this with like beloved IP is actually huge for me. Honestly, it was pretty close to the Civ 7 for me. That was probably the next one I was going to mention, was that this was a huge surprise. And I love it, man. I fucking love it. Dave, I don't know if you've watched that. Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix, but dude, it's so fucking cool. And even if you watch a couple episodes, I think the first episode of the first season is a good. I think it's like the kaiju fighting. Do you remember that, Ben? The monsters boxing. I feel like that's kind of like a good like intro to the whole thing because it's so inventive and like creative and visually pleasing. And each episode is a completely different story with a completely different art style. So it's cool, man. Dude, it's really cool. And I'm really, really excited for this. I don't know about you, Ben.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I love movies and TV, and if you pair them with video games and they're good quality, I'm always going to enjoy that as well. So I thought it looked cool. I didn't want to actually, like, I saw some people who were already posting like deep dives and identifying it. I was like, I don't want to know yet. Like, I just want to wait and experience it.
Right.
So that was cool. But I did accidentally see that I think there's going to be a Concord episode, which
I saw that, yeah.
hope that pans out for them.
Well, what's interesting though is like one of the whole things with Concord is that they're going to have shorts. So like
This team may be working on them.
I would hope because I feel like I wouldn't want them to like
Upstage them.
yeah, that would be kind of awkward.
I saw Jin Sakai in that trailer.
Mega
I saw
Man?
so many cool characters. Yeah, absolutely. I think the cool thing is it looks like there's going to be lots of different art styles as well.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's an anthology series, so of course it's going to be different stuff. But a lot of times with an anthology series, it feels very samey.
Right.
Radix says, I bet they wanted God of War and Tsushima only. And Sony said, yes, but you have to use Concord. Dave, do you have any thoughts on this trailer, or do you want to go on to your next game?
I totally missed it, so I can go on to my next game.
Okay.
I gotta give a little bit of VR love because we've also finally seen some gameplay for Batman: Arkham Shadow. I don't know how the internet feels about this game as a whole, but I liked what I saw. I think the stealth and the investigation mechanics from the Arkham series can translate really well to VR, and I think they showed us that in this trailer today. I also think Batman is inherently moody and a little bit spooky, and I think I'm not calling this horror, but horror works really well in VR. So I think when you have shadows and lighting and stuff like that, then that works really well. So I was watching Batman kind of swoop up and down from the ceiling and taking out enemies and stuff like that, and I thought this looks really good. So yeah, Batman Arkham Shadow is looking pretty good to me. I don't know that the hand-to-hand combat is really going to translate too well, but other than that, I do think that Batman Arkham Shadow is shaping up pretty well for MetaQuest 3. So again, this isn't a platform I own, so I don't know if I'll ever play it, but I've always had a soft spot for Batman. I think growing up, Spider-Man was my favorite, but as I got older, I really started to gravitate a little bit more to Batman. So maybe it's a Batman bump for me, but I really thought this trailer was quite impressive.
As you grew older, you understood the true emo behind Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it looks cool too. I'm not sure that I'll play it either because I have a Quest 2, and of course this is, as of right now at least, Quest 3 exclusive. And I mean, I get it. There's a lot of Quest 3s out there, I'm sure. And there aren't very many games coming out for them, so maybe it will sell enough to make their money back. But it seems like a misstep. I mean, maybe there's tech that they couldn't use on the Quest 2, but there's so many Quest 2s out there. There's definitely more Quest 2s than there are Quest 3s, and I feel like they're missing a big opportunity. But I would imagine Quest 3 owners feel a lot like, us PS5 owners when a new game comes out on PS4. So I understand that they're wanting to advance the medium, appease the people who have the new console. But I'm probably not going to buy a Quest 3 because I don't even use my Quest 2 enough. And it's not for lack of games, because I have games I've purchased and never played on there, never even booted up before, which is a shame. But I got them on sale, so it basically saved money, by buying them. That's how that works. The Batman Arkham game for PSVR was very cool. It was very rudimentary, and it didn't have, a lot of capabilities that it could have had with a more advanced VR. And I think there was a lot of teleporting involved. It wasn't, a lot of movement, but it was cool. And if this is like that, which I'm sure it's going to be better than that, that's good, I think. This seems like more of a full-fledged game too than Arkham VR was more just I don't want to say tech demo because there was stuff to do in it, but like it was a showcase more than it was an actual game, in my opinion. So yeah, it looks cool. Brandon, next.
Yeah, when I was watching this trailer, I actually thought about you a lot, Ben. I don't know if you caught on this, but I feel like it would be a game you might be interested in. We Harvest Shadows. Did you see this?
Is that the one with the weird description?
No, so it's like a farming sim, but with spooky shit.
Oh yeah, no, that game looked like trash to me.
Bro, I can't believe that. I feel like it reminded me a little
Let me
bit of the
double check.
forest. I feel like it reminded me a little bit of the forest because you have the spooky shit, but you also have the like building aspect, right? You got to keep up with the farm, you got to tend the crops, but there's also like this huge like weird ambiance about it. And it kind of did remind me of the forest a little bit for that reason, just because of the whole crafting and like maintaining aspect, but also with like strange beings going around.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you're not wrong, but the way they describe this game turned me off immediately because they start the trailer with the words "a first-person farming horror allegory," and immediately when I see allegory, I think this is a walking sim with some buttons you click. That's what I thought, and that's kind of that set my whole mood for that trailer. So if
Gotcha.
it's not that, then I'll probably be into it.
Yeah.
If it's a yeah.
It looked a little bit more advanced to me. I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, we only saw what we saw, which wasn't a ton. But I instantly thought of games like Sons of the Forest and The Forest. And
Yeah.
if there was something like that where you could like survive,
It definitely
right?
won't be as in depth as that, but I see what you mean about the comparison.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I was kind of getting those vibes. So I'm always
Yeah.
interested in spooky shit. And if you could pair like a different genre, like something that's satisfying like a sim, in with that, I think that's really a unique angle. So maybe I'm expecting too much from the game. Maybe we need to see more, but I thought it looked interesting. I will say
Yeah.
that.
Cool. Next up for me was Marvel Rivals, and I just got to play the beta of this a few weeks ago, and I said I was really excited, and now we know it's releasing December 6th. They didn't really show anything off that was like, oh wow, this is totally it's the same game that we've already experienced, and hopefully there'll be more modes and stuff. But they did announce that both Captain America and Winter Soldier are going to be in it at release. Of course, they'll be free, along with all the other characters. So that's cool, and I love Captain America, and Winter Soldier looks dope. The moveset I can guarantee is going to be really cool, especially when you pair these two against each other. I think that'll create some cool combat, not just from a narrative standpoint. There's no real narrative in the game, but not just from a universe narrative standpoint, but I think if they're smart, they're really going to make these characters like if somebody has Captain America, you need to have Winter Soldier on your team to combat it. So I'm excited for that because I like seeing that kind of stuff. And I mean, we knew this was good. Captain America is too huge to not put in the game for sure. So it is interesting that isn't this is a who's making this game? Who's making Marvel Rivals? I gotta look now.
Isn't it NetEase?
Yeah, it's NetEase. So it was. I mean, I know it's part of the IP, but it's really interesting to me that like Captain America is going to be in their game at release. They did a whole trailer about it, and he's just a giant American flag. Like that's just interesting to me. But it's part of the IP, so they don't censor that. They only censor the black people out of their movies in China. So it's totally fine. Not I'm just kidding. It's the part about the flag is fine. Not the
Right.
part about censoring out black people. Okay.
Exactly.
I don't want to get twisted here. Anybody else? I don't want to keep going around and drain everybody, but anybody else have something else they want to talk about from the show?
You can drain me anytime. Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Worlds continues to look great. The trailer with the Dave, did you see this? Do you know about
yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Dude, the fucking spider with the flower coming out its asshole.
No.
What in the world was that? Jesus Christ. This game just keeps looking cooler. Not that the monsters ever had a lack of like diversity, but the monsters are really getting a little bit wacky.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. So, as usual, this game making me feel things.
Do that stinger at the end where he's just sitting there eating that big piece of meat or cooking it up.
I'll do the food in Monster
Yeah.
Hunter is always
Yeah.
premium.
Big thing I got from that trailer is they showed one large monster, and they said its name. It's like Ray Doer or something, but they said that there was a line where like that must be this region's apex monster. So every Monster Hunter game has had like one headline monster. I wonder if this game is gonna have multiple, because that looked like a big boy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Maybe like
Yeah.
like regional apex monsters. That'd
Yeah.
be so cool if it's a more of an open world.
Can I quickly discuss Borderlands 4?
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
Please.
got a
Yeah.
quick little teaser, and I think Borderlands stock is at an all-time low at the moment for
Yeah.
reasons we don't need to discuss here. But my thoughts on Borderlands is people have kind of got tired of the games because the formula hasn't been iterated on. All we got today was a quick little teaser. It didn't really show anything. And you kind of hold that up against Monster Hunter Wilds, and Monster Hunter Wilds is also coming out next year, and look how much of that game we've seen. So
Yeah.
it would have been nice to see a little bit of gameplay. But if there's one person who can revive this franchise, I think it's Handsome Jack. And there were some glitched out frames from that trailer, which, in my opinion, clearly show Handsome Jack. So I think if Gearbox is bringing our favorite bad boy back, then I think they're taking a step in the right direction for Borderlands 4. But I think we're going to see gameplay at the Game Awards, because there seems to be a little bromance between Gearbox and Jeff Keighley. I think Wonderlands was shown off at the Game Awards originally, so yeah, we'll see where it goes. But I don't have high hopes for Borderlands at the moment. So
Fun fact: what's Randy Pitchford? Basically, every show I've ever been to in the Microsoft Theater, I've been within 5 or 6 seats of Randy Pitchford. So, you know, maybe I should get special access to the game. Radix says 2K actually has a huge 2025 with GTA, Mafia, Borderlands, Civ 7, and Judas. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all there. My last one, or at least it doesn't have to be my last one, but the last one I was prepared to really bring up, is going to be a little bit shocking. Masters of Albion.
can I say something before you start?
Please.
I was watching King Gathalion's stream, and
Yeah.
before Molyneux said 2 words, and King Gathalion was like, he's already lying to us.
Yeah.
I can't. I just can't with this guy. Like, it's been too long, but
I know.
we're still marching him out on stage. So go off, Ben.
I am not really. First of all, the game looks okay. Like, it doesn't look phenomenal to me. It looks like something I would play, but not like that I'd fall in love with. But I'm mostly interested in this game for the ensuing either resurrection from the dead of Peter Molyneux or the absolute dumpster fire it is going to be. Because this man has never, until today, come out and not overpromised. If he really came out and just was like, here's what the game is, and described it. And then he admitted, like, I have people from the teams that used to work with me. And I'm like, would those people have gone back to work with him after all the stuff he said about? Maybe they believe, you know, his hype. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just interested to see this cycle of whatever this game is going to be interesting, because I don't know. He's going to be like, you can craft and everything, and then you're going to get in there and it's like click a button and you have something. I don't know. So I'm just interested in the dumpster fire more than anything. And I did think it was funny. He was like, yeah, I was in the mobile scene. What the hell was I doing? And I'm like, bro, you left the mobile scene because you failed at it. Like your games never came out, and you lied about everything. You're here to do it to us again. There is a generation of people who are in games media, let alone just gamers now, that have never heard of this guy and have no idea what all the stuff he used to do and say. But there's also a lot of people who remember. The South remembers. Okay, Pepperidge Farm remembers. So I don't know. We'll see. So I don't know if I'm actually excited for this game, but I'm excited that it exists and that Peter Molyneux was on stage with Jeff Keighley after all the stuff that's happened over the years. It should be an interesting ride for sure.
Dude, between him and Sean Murray, dude,
Oh,
he's always willing to give out them second chances, isn't he?
he really is. Yeah, Jeff is. It kind of makes me wonder about Jeff a little bit. I'm like, maybe you don't like Jeff. You think he's cringe. You think his shows are boring, whatever. But like, I've never thought Jeff was like a dishonest dude or like scummy or anything. But I'm like, you're giving platform. I mean, not that I believe in deplatforming, but you're giving platforms on your show to some people. Maybe they're not bad people, but they've definitely exaggerated the truth at the expense of many hundreds of people.
Did you see
Not
the
thousands.
recent allegations to the Gillette man? I can't believe he had him on the show all those years back after what happened.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Anything else, boys? Anything else?
The only other one I had is I hadn't heard of this game before. The first Berserker Kazan. It was near the end of the game. It's probably the best looking use of cell shading I've ever seen in a game. Really fast paced hack and slash game from a Korean developer called Nexon, who I think they published the finals in the first Descendant. I don't know if they were the lead developer, but this one looks really, really cool. And I don't know if it's going to be like a Souls-like if it's going to be difficult, but I think it would probably do well as like sort of a really tough boss rush kind of game. Like another game we're going to talk about soon. But
it's an action RPG, I think is how they described it, and that can mean anything. Like I think Nier Automata is considered an action RPG, but like so is Final Fantasy VII Remake, and those games are, I mean, they have similarities, but they're very different from each other. But action RPG, you can kind of make into whatever you want to make it. It can be as deep or as shallow as you want, and people are just going to say it's an action RPG. Brandon, anything else for you?
Not really.
I agree, Dave. By the way, it did look cool. I thought the art style was cool. I don't know if it's something I'm interested in, but it looked cool.
Not really. I mean, Mech Break looks fine. I don't know if I'll play it. I'm always into PvP games. And after playing Tales of the Rubicon, I thought that Armored Core, I thought that this kind of intrigued me a little bit because of that game, getting into the mech genre. But don't know that I'll play it. We'll see. But I think it looks cool.
Yeah. Oh, last thing, definitely not the least. I'm very excited. I have been. I don't want to see anything else for Indiana Jones. I love Indy. I think this game's probably going to be pretty good. It does look a little janky, and I know it's not out yet. It's coming out at the end of the year. And I understand that it's a Bethesda-related title, so, like, you get what you pay for there. But, actually, don't get what you pay for there. But I'm excited just because I love Indiana Jones, and I think it's going to be a fun time, and you get to whip people. Nazis, specifically. You get to whip Nazis, so I think that's pretty cool.
Dude, why do you keep edging the whole PS5 thing?
Well, they announced it today.
That it's coming out on Indiana Jones, yes.
Yeah.
But, like, in general, why don't they just break the veil and say, like, hey, everything's going to come 9 months after?
They will do that after they release their next console.
Yeah, see, why do they keep edging,
Yeah.
No more gooning from Microsoft.
No more gooning. No. Yeah, I think it's entirely until they release their next console, and then they'll like fully break the dam. The real thing that's going to break people is when Halo comes to PlayStation. That's what's going to break people, actually.
Master Chief
right?
and Marcus Phoenix are not going to PlayStation. I'm calling
you
it
may
now.
be right. You may be right, but at the beginning of this year, in February, Phil Spencer said that Indiana Jones wasn't going to PlayStation. So we'll see.
Dude, 343's got to make that money back from all the fucking years of development on Master Chief Collection and all the failed fucking attempts at fixing that game.
Yeah. But I think the game looks fun, and I think it is interesting that it's coming out. They already announced it's coming out on PS5, which we already kind of assumed that, but I don't know, man. I think after this next expansion for Starfield, they'll probably announce it's coming to PlayStation as well. I have a feeling. Which, by the way, they announced, or they I think it was already announced, but they put a date on Shattered Space or whatever it's called, and they announced that there's gonna be a new vehicle. I think it's live today or tomorrow in
Is the car
Starfield.
enough to bring you back, Brandon? What do you think? No.
No, because I mean, albeit that was like one of the bad parts of the game is that it was really frustrating to traverse. There was also many other parts that I didn't enjoy. So although it would like tamper my annoyance, it would not negate it. So
I have access. The copy I got that I received of Starfield has the Shattered Space DLC already assigned to it. So like when it's out, I'll have it. I don't have to buy it. So it's not even a question of whether I want to buy it. It's just a matter of whether I want to install it. And I probably will eventually, but
will you?
not yet. Radek said, y'all are acting like he's chilling with Mussolini. I think he's talking about Jeff Keighley. I really like Jeff Keighley. I just mean like, why is he just must really believe in redemption for these guys, because like, so I would never want to be like, yeah, here, Peter Molyneux, I know you've lied and you got basically kicked out of the industry and ripped out of your own studio, but sure, talk about your game. I guess money talks, though. Also, the fact that we're talking about it is bringing attention to his show, to Jeff's show. So there you go. Any last words about the ONL? All right, let's talk about Black Myth Wukong. Now, this game has been beaten to death, like the subject of it. As far we haven't really discussed it much, but like people talking about how it's, you know, racist and talking about how it's like bad and the fact that it's from a Chinese developer and everything else. But that's not what this is about. This comes from PC Gamer. It says Black Myth Wukong crushes Elden Ring and Cyberpunk's 2077's all-time player records on Steam with 1.2 million and counting. That was 20 hours ago, and I'm pretty sure they have. Let's see, what's the news story? This added since I looked at it. It had like 2.1 million concurrent players at the time of writing, which was 10 hours ago. I think it was up to 2.3 at one point, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to read this news story now. Actually, I'm not. I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to talk about it. Basically, Black Myth Wukong came out last night. It released, and on Steam, it's breaking records like crazy. I think it's the second highest concurrent player count that has ever been on Steam. I think the only thing behind that is it Counter-Strike? I think Counter-Strike is the only thing that has had a higher concurrent player counts. It broke the record for PUBG. It broke the record for Palworld. It broke the record for Cyberpunk. It broke the record for Baldur's Gate 3. Like, it's broken all. If I haven't said one, it's broken the record for it, except for Counter-Strike. And no, it did break the record for Counter-Strike. I don't know what's in front of it right now, but right now it's the second place record. So anyway, I don't know what I want to talk about with this. I just wanted to mention it and see what you guys had any thoughts. I would imagine, because it's a game from China and some data suggests that like a large portion of this is from the Chinese market playing the game. And I saw some people trying to discount that, like, oh, it's not really that big. It's just China inflating it. I'm like, as far as I know, like, unless something has changed, they still buy things in China. Like, that's still money for the developer. That's still a huge freaking player count, right? So, like, I don't know why that is a way to discount the game. Problems with China aside. But, Dave, what do you think about Black Myth Wukong? Did you really think that this was ever going to be this huge?
Before I answer, can I reference feminist propaganda or COVID in my response?
The embargo's up, so yes, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, that was my first thought is like, yes, people in China buy video games, but because of where this game was developed, I wonder if this is the effect of having a game that is widely promoted in China and seeing how many people are actually buying it. So, yeah, I mean, at this trajectory, I feel like Black Myth Wukong could be one of the top selling games of all time. I mean, look how many people are playing it. And this is a day one full price release that we're talking about. This isn't free to play. This isn't on any subscription service. And these numbers that you're spouting off, Ben, are only from Steam. We're not even talking about console at the moment.
Right.
So, yeah, this is, and I think this is a really good case study of sustained hype. I remember 2.5, 3 years ago when this game was first shown off. It was one of those moments where you see the trailer and you see the gameplay and you're like, how can this be real? Like, this has to be pre-rendered. This just looks so cutting edge, so next gen. And we kept getting more stuff from Black Myth Wukong. Like, it never kind of faded into obscurity. So I think they did a really good job of keeping the hype levels high. And now it's here, and it's you know, the payoff is real for this one. So yeah, I'm not really in a position to play this game, but with the amount of hype I've seen about it today, like, I've almost pulled the trigger several times, and I see some people in our chat have been playing it. So I'm curious to see how people we know are enjoying it. But yeah, the hype is real with this one, and it's going to be crazy to see how far it goes. But yeah, there we go. I didn't mention feminists there, so
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm gonna at least dive in and check it out for a little bit because it's someone in my Steam family who definitely live in my house purchased it, so I'm definitely gonna be checking that out at least to hop in and see how it is. But yeah, it's broken crazy. Let's see here. Elden Ring peak was 953,000. Cyberpunk was 1,054,000. Dota 2 1.3. Lost Ark 1.3.5. Counter Strike 2 1.8. Power World 2.1. Black Myth Wukong 2.2, and then PUBG was actually the original peak, which was 3.2, which is insane. That's a lot of people playing at the same time. A lot of people. Brandon, any interest? Does this appeal to your Souls-like tendencies?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything I've heard of this game leads me to believe that even though it may look slightly like a Souls game, there's a lot that it's not like a Souls game, which isn't bad. I think that's a good thing. I've heard this game is incredibly deep and it's somewhat linear, which two things that interest me thoroughly. I thought this game has looked awesome since the beginning. Honestly, it kind of almost looked unreal. Having watched it before, I almost kind of assumed it either wouldn't come out or it would come out bad. So the fact that it's come out and it's good is awesome. And I'm very, very interested. I will be checking it out at some point. But yeah, props to them. You know, people discounting it being China, it's like unfathomable the amount of, the amount of players you can sustain from that nation alone is insane. So, if they're paying customers, period. So,
yeah, they got like 1.5 billion people in China, and I'm assuming that most of them playing on Steam are paid for the game. So, like, that's no. I don't understand. People are like, I just don't understand people who are like, yeah, but it's not really that big. It's like, no, it is. It just isn't big in your neighborhood. Sorry. That's just the way it goes. I was watching someone play it today, and yeah, it definitely doesn't have. It's got bosses that are hard, and it's got places where you rest and enemies respawn. That's what I saw that looked Souls-like, but I understand the comparisons, but that's about it. But yeah, the things I did hear before. Well, I didn't actually read any reviews, but I talked to someone who reviewed it, and they were like, "Yeah, it's good, but it's basically just linear and boss fights," which is fine with me.
Well,
that's fine.
I don't know. I was watching someone that said that you can take a critical path, I guess, essentially, and it's not open world, but there is, like, much like a Souls game. This isn't a one-to-one because a lot of games do this, but you can go much deeper if you want to.
Kind of like Sekiro, and not
Right.
again, not to compare it directly to another
Right.
one of the genre, but
Exactly.
Sekiro was like that, where a lot of people, there were many people who were like, Sekiro's too linear, and I was like, what? Like, not when I played it, it wasn't.
Yeah. There's, like, shit you can explore, but you don't have to.
Yeah,
Bosses you can get to, but you don't have to. Like, shit
Right.
like that.
yeah. All right, let's move on to the next story. This kind of came up at the very end of our show last week because I think Ed in chat was commenting on it. This comes from PCGuide.com. It says Call of Duty H2 multiplayer mod gets shut down. Player count falls off a cliff amid mass refunds. Hype have been building for a new project known as H2 Multiplayer, but the fan-made game mod has been hit by a massive blow. As a result of a cease and desist order from Activision, operations have been forcibly shut down. The modification was designed to bring classic MW2 multiplayer content to the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare remastered engine via the 2017 title. Not many people are too surprised by Activision's actions, given the content is rightfully their IP, but it has dashed a few dreams of reliving that now classic MW2 feel on a newer and more secure version of the engine. Following the announcement for the mod's development team, we've noticed many people rushing to refund Modern Warfare Remastered, as well as a sudden drop in the player count. A good old-fashioned review bomb also isn't missed. So, Brandon, I wanted to know what you thought of this as our resident, Call of Duty player. I don't know if this was even on your radar or not, but this kind of sucks that they let these guys work on this for a while. I think they even ran a sale leading up to when this mod was supposed to be released, and then they were like, "Nah, you can't do it."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I'm not surprised, especially with a new Call of Duty right around the corner. I would imagine that they want all eyes to be on that. Not that everybody that would be playing this would also be playing the new one, but I'd imagine a large portion of them would. So, yeah, if that is true, I didn't know about that, them running sales and everything. That's extra shitty. I think that they even added things to the game that weren't originally there, which is kind of like, I don't know. Obviously, a lot of the game is one for one and is their IP ultimately, so I don't think it's wrong for them to do this, but I don't think it's cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's definitely not wrong, but when you have like this informal handshake agreement, well, not even a handshake, just like head nod agreement for so many years between developers and modders, to just be like, nah.
Well, because they're not going to do it. Like,
that's the thing, though.
what
I
I mean?
wonder if they
Like-
are. Like, are they going to remaster Modern Warfare 2?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I doubt it.
Again?
Well, when fucking Modern Warfare 4 comes out next year,
Yeah, we'll have maps
and
in it.
then they have all the maps from the old, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. It's a never-ending nostalgia bait with Call of Duty anymore. So
Yeah.
if they could get some money, which actually in the long run, if there were this many people refunding it, like that's the opposite of what happened. Like if you were expecting people not to refund their shit when that's specifically why they bought it, like you saw this uptick in money, right? When this mod released or right before the mod released, you didn't think these people were gonna refund? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not the way it works anymore. And now you got shitty reviews on your game.
I also don't know why they waited so long, because like this was not, it hadn't been like years and years and years or anything, but I don't know why they didn't see this and immediately shut it down. Like this game had a Steam page and everything.
Right.
Dave, what are your thoughts on the situation? Obviously, we've said it's not wrong for Activision to have done this. It's their IP. It's legally their right to do it, but it kind of sucks.
Yeah, with Activision's approach to monetization, I don't see how this could have gone any other way. But I really agree with you guys that they kind of edged us a little bit, and they edged the developers a little bit and led them on. So I don't know. I feel like they could have shot this out of the air as soon as it came to fruition, but by letting sort of the H2 team get as far as they did, it's kind of a shitty move. And just last week we were talking about another developer, Bethesda, that celebrates the modding community, and it's just too bad that we don't see more of that across the industry right now, where modding is celebrated. Because I mean, Activision, this is probably peanuts to them, but like they sold a bunch of copies of Modern Warfare Remastered that they probably otherwise wouldn't have, because of this group. So it would have been cool if they were able to strike some sort of official deal with them to get this off the ground. But again, Activision is business first, and in their eyes, they could make more money and profit more off of nostalgia than by contracting out to this group of modders. So a shitty end to a pretty good story, but yeah, I don't know. I guess the lesson here is if in a couple of years down the line, like as you guys say, when Modern Warfare comes out, if there's Modern Warfare 2 maps, maybe buy something else, because this was a shitty approach to deal with this situation, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Next story. Epic, Apple. The fight is basically over for now. But Tim Sweeney has come out and said it cost him a lot of money. This comes from GameFile.news. It says U.S. tech giant Epic Games is launching its Epic Game Store marketplace on iOS and Android phones in the European Union today. This was almost a week ago now. Anyway, and relaunching the long blocked Fortnite to that region, part of its ongoing effort to upend the mobile app ecosystem, and it argues make mobile gaming in particular better for developers and gamers. Epic's efforts have been costly for a giant fighting even larger titans. The company has spent hundreds of millions battling Apple and Google since 2020 to get to this point, Sweeney told GameFile during an interview conducted earlier this week. Here's the mind blowing part. And he added, Epic may have missed out on as much as $1 billion in Fortnite revenue during the process, but he feels the costs have been worth it. If we spent $1 billion so far, that's a small price to pay for the future freedom of our company and all the others who want to participate in the market. $1 billion just in iOS and Android revenue, just in Fortnite.
Damn.
In, I guess, 3.5, 4 years.
Just an iPhone.
Is it just iPhone?
I'm pretty sure you could still get Fortnite on Android.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking it was not available there. Maybe you can still get it there, but they definitely fought them as well. Anyway, whatever it is, $1 billion either way. Whether it's from 15 platforms, it's a lot of money. And they spent a lot of money doing this. I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about, Epic is by no means the good guy. They're by no means the David in this David and Goliath story. But they are the one that may have... Do you think that what they've done is going to help other developers in the future? Dave, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the reason Tim Sweeney is putting these numbers out there is he wants the world to know that Epic went up against an oligopoly on the behalf of the little guy. They wanted developer freedom in this market, and I think they want to show that they spent a lot of time and sacrificed a lot of money to kind of get to where they are. So I think what Epic has done is positive for the industry, and good for them for kind of making the sacrifices that they did, because I think it's going to make for a better ecosystem for the little guy who doesn't have $1 billion to sacrifice in a fight like this. So yeah, I think this is good for in the fight of Tim Sweeney versus Tim Apple. Tim Sweeney he's my Superman in this case.
Brandon, do you pick Tim Sweeney or Tim Apple?
Tim Sweeney. I'm not like a huge fan of Epic because I feel like obviously big corporations bad, but ultimately I feel like over the years Epic has done some interesting things for the small guys, even the not so small guys, like the medium guys, the developers, not even necessarily the individual consumers. So yeah, I definitely think this is good overall for everyone except for Apple. I don't love the idea of the potential of many marketplaces flooding the App Store. That is an outcome I don't like. But ultimately, I think that this is a win in general, specifically for everyone via Apple, because they really should not have had the kind of power that they do. I don't know that the outcome's going to be perfect or going to be one that I'm going to love, but I think it's overall good, net positive for sure.
Nice. That's all I got to say about that. What have we been playing? Dave, let's start off with you this week. Switch it up a little. What have you been playing, Dave?
So yeah, last week you guys were talking at length about Modern Warfare, and I started thinking about Modern Warfare, but I thought I'd really like to play Modern Warfare, but a quadruple A version of Modern Warfare. So I jumped back into X Defiant. And when this game first launched, I put a couple of matches in and then got busy with other stuff. So I'd been meaning to jump back in and kind of get my feet a little bit more wet with X Defiant. And I've been having a really good time with X Defiant, and I've been trying to ascertain why I'm liking it so much. It's free, so that's a big one. One of the main reasons I haven't been playing Call of Duty with you guys is because I don't have an active PS Plus subscription. So being able to play X Defiant, a game which is very much like Call of Duty without a subscription, is a huge bonus for me. But
Do you still have to have a subscription for regular Call of Duty? Is it just Warzone you don't have to?
It's just Warzone, yeah.
Yeah. So if I wanted to play Warzone, I could, but I would need to re-up for multiplayer, which I'm not really a Warzone person, but
Sure.
so yeah, I think X Defiant has a slightly longer TTK than Call of Duty does, and I like that because that means that the person who wins a gunfight isn't necessarily the one who shoots first.
Right.
Gunfights are actually gunfights. The development team has been actively working against things like bunny hopping and jump spamming, which means that you need to rely on aim and strafing over doing like this really stupid jumping shit and sliding and all that stuff that I've hated in Call of Duty for years. And I really like the character abilities too. So it kind of reminds me of, I think it was Black Ops 3 that had like heroes. Not they weren't heroes, but like each character had its own set of abilities. And you know, like Libertad from Far Cry 6, they have like a healing buff. So if you're close to somebody on your team who's playing as Libertad, they're going to make you heal a little bit faster. If you're playing as one of the ghosts, then you have 20 extra hit points, I think. If you're playing as the cleaners from the Division, then you have burn damage on your bullet, so you're going to do a little bit damage over time. So I like that there's sort of these abilities and passive abilities and active abilities that come together to make it kind of more interesting to work together with your team. And everything kind of comes together in a way where this is a game that's more fun to play the objective than it is to grind camos and get kill streaks. And there aren't kill streaks in X Defiant, which I think is a good thing because playing the objective is more fun, in my opinion, than grinding out kills. So, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with X Defiant. I actually thought about the Battle Pass for a minute, but I don't think I'm quite there yet. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm not saying it's better than Call of Duty, but for a game that's free and requires no subscription, I think it's a pretty good stand-in. So, yeah, that's X Defiant for me, and it's a Ubisoft original, so that's always good for me.
Yeah, that's good for Dave. You know, I kind of forgot X Defiant existed, but hearing you talk about it makes me interested. I still have so many different games I am playing and want to play that I don't know if I have time for another shooter. But and maybe I could peek into it just to play with Dave. You know, maybe I could do that.
I'm there.
All right, Bando. We have a couple games in common, but we'll let you lead off.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna kind of brush over a couple pretty quickly. I'm playing more Modern Warfare 2 with Ben recently. Still playing Gunfight, loads of fun. Absolutely love Call of Duty, miss the fuck out of it. Don't have much to say on that. It's kind of an old game. But also got back into Red Dead 2, which is good because it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Do you feel any kind of impending pressure on you to play it, or?
No, I'm actually having fun playing it, honestly. I've been in like a weird lull, and I was like sitting on my couch the other day, and I'm like, what do I want to play? Nobody's on. I don't really want to play Fortnite because I will touch base on this. I did play a little bit of Fortnite. The new season is somehow even worse than the fisting car meta. And it's Marvel. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm so fucking tired of everything in the goddamn popular culture having to have fucking Disney something or other in it. I'm tired of seeing it. I really genuinely am because there's Marvel every fucking season, it seems like, somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, Red Dead's been great.
By the way, just because I like Marvel doesn't mean I like seeing it everywhere either. It actually
know,
diminishes my enjoyment. Hipster, I like that. I liked Marvel before it was cool. Okay,
Actually.
it's, you know, for me to walk by Hot Topic and see all the 14-year-olds in there eating up Marvel schlock, it doesn't make me happy. Okay.
It's like when I see a baby with a Nirvana shirt. I'm like, you haven't listened to Nirvana, baby. Like,
it's like all the people when all those when all those Taylor Swift fans were mad about all the was it Dave Grohl? Yeah, when they were talking crap on each other or whatever for a while there.
Yeah.
And there's like, it's like, you guys know you're literally wearing Nirvana shirts right now. You have no idea what you're talking about.
They have no idea, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm playing more Red Dead, which is good. I think I'm about halfway done.
No way.
No, I think I am.
Nice.
I tried to figure it out. I tried to be like, list of main missions in chronological order by name. And I went through the list, and I think I'm about halfway. So, that's good.
So you're really enjoying it, soaking it in, not just waiting for it to be over. I
Well,
can
no.
tell.
Honestly, I was curious because I didn't finish it. So I'm like,
Oh, okay.
do I have like 40 more hours? Am I even like I had no idea. So I was at work and I looked it up, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Cool.
But last but certainly not least, I did get access. I didn't talk about it a couple weeks ago. I played it a couple times since this past week. But Delta Force Cock Ops. That's what I have written in the document. I'm sorry. But Delta Force Hawk Ops did try it. Never played a Delta Force or a Hawk Ops game before.
By the way, they shortened the name just to Delta Force now.
Thank God, because it's fucking awful.
Yeah.
It should have just been Cock Ops. But this game's great. This game is really, really good. I finally got in. I literally applied, I think, 3 or 4 different ways. I watched the Twitch to get the drops. I took the survey. I signed up on their website. And what else did I do? I did something else. Maybe I did it 3 ways. Either way, I signed up on Steam. So I did it a bunch of ways to get this fucking game, and it finally popped up in my Steam, and I've been playing it a bit. I played it mostly with Ben, which was the most I had played it since I had the code. And man, I gotta say, it's great. The Battlefield mode is pretty much one-to-one Battlefield. It's everything 2042 should have been at launch. It feels really good. It sounds really good. It looks really good. It is a one-for-one of Battlefield, like truly. It feels exactly like it in so many ways. But I also tried the like Tarkov Lite. They have like an extraction type game mode. The menus look a lot like Tarkov, and it's similar. But I don't know enough about Tarkov to say that it's like a 1-to-1. Maybe the menus just look really similar, but it feels like Tarkov Lite to me. So I'm really enjoying that, and that was kind of the standout for me. We had played that for like a couple hours the other night, Ben, and I am kind of enamored by this game mode right now. So free to play game, and there's also going to be a campaign as well. I don't know if the campaign is paid or not, but the 2 modes we played were awesome and they were polished, at least from what I can see. The only complaint I did, Cuck Ops. Thanks, Ed. The only complaint I did have, I guess, was Ben had mentioned something about the movement was a little bit weird. I don't want to steal your thunder on that. The mantling was awful. I didn't think the movement was weird, though. I thought that it felt heavy and grounded, which is a change in pace from the recent slidey shooters. I will say the mantling, though, is awful. There is almost no mantling in the whole game, and that is a huge glaring problem for me. So aside from that, it plays great. The guns feel awesome and like punchy. And some of the animations for the guns are really fucking solid. So,
Yeah. I just to comment on that last part there. The movement felt a little weird. I agree that it's just probably because I've been playing so much Modern Warfare lately that I'm just like, why can't I slide however far I want? Why can't I? So like it feels okay, but I don't know if I have my key binding set wrong or something, but I feel like I'm canceling my run when I don't mean to be. And I don't like that. But, it's fine. I don't like the fact that there's a stamina bar because I'm playing a video game and I don't want to have my real life problems imposed in a video game. But that's okay as well. I'm also really enjoying it. I don't have a lot to say about the Battlefield mode because it, like Brandon said, it's just Battlefield. I forget the actual name they use for it. There also, I don't know if this is true, but I believe the person that told me, somebody in my Twitch chat last night told me that they're remaking, the campaign is going to be a remake of the Delta Force Black Hawk Down from years back. And if that's true, that's awesome because I remember playing that game years ago now and enjoying it. So hopefully that's true, and that's what they actually do. And I'm pretty sure I'm in their Discord and in their creator Discord, and they have confirmed all the content, the actual game modes, including that, will be free.
nice.
It'll only be like Battle Pass, cosmetics, stuff like that that'll be paid. So talking about the access to this before I actually get into the mechanics, I did all the same things you did. I applied through Steam. Within an hour or two of them listing it available to request, I applied. And that happens to me all the time. The earlier I request something, the less likely I am to get access, which is really annoying, but whatever. And then I tried to do the Twitch drop thing. I filled out, this was before that. This was like the same time I applied on Steam. I went on and did like their survey that they offer, and I joined their Discord and tried to find a code in there. They do like 1,000 codes a day they give away in there or something like that. I went into multiple streamers who were streaming the game and said like drops or not drops, but giveaways in their title and tried to win a code. I couldn't do it. Finally, I was like, Ben, you're stupid. You're on multiple podcasts and you also stream games. Might as well take a shot. And so I applied for the creator program and got accepted within like half an hour. It was crazy. So they sent me a code, which was great. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm actually going to submit anything to you guys, but I'll stream it. I'll talk about it on the show for sure. And hopped in. It was great. Absolutely great. Like I said, I don't have a lot to say about the Battlefield mode, but the extraction mode, which I can't remember the name of once again, is really clean. Like it's very good. You get in, for those who, you know what an extraction game is, but for those who don't, just in case, you get dropped in. You have a team of 3. That's what the teams are right now. Maybe they'll do other modes in the future. And this is from the get-go. You go around, you loot stuff, you complete missions against PvE, and then occasionally you're going to run into some other real players on the map that you're on. The whole point is to get a bunch of stuff, whether that's gear or whether that's stuff you can sell, and extract to get out of there. Of course, you can go and hunt other players down if you want to. But the main priority is get stuff, get out, go back to base, sell the stuff that you don't want or don't need, and then be able to assemble a better kit for the next time you drop in. If you die in the game and you can't be resurrected, then you lose all the stuff you came in with. It's not that much different from other extraction shooters in that regard, but it's just done very well. Somebody, I think it was Poot last night in chat, was like, wow. You hear the train?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure everybody can hear it. I paused talking just for the train to blow its whistle again, and it didn't. If you, it's not that much different, but like in my opinion, just like I said with Marvel Rivals, it is so much of it is like a just direct ripoff of Overwatch. But like if you're gonna do the thing that you're trying to do, might as well emulate the best. And so they've taken a lot of things that other extraction shooters have done and implemented that here into this game. And I don't really know whenever what was it called? What was the mode called? Whenever Modern Warfare or whatever Call of Duty did their extraction, DMZ. For whatever reason, I like DMZ, but I just didn't click with me for good. Like I never really got comfortable in it. And of course, this is brand new, and maybe my allure will wear off, or maybe I'll really love it. I don't know. But like with this, I jumped in and I was like immediately like, I know what I'm doing. Right. I'm doing this intentionally.
Right.
I feel like I know how I should be playing. Doesn't mean I'm always going to win. Certainly means I'm going to get blown up by landmines because Brandon doesn't have the patience to walk around them and needs to walk through them.
Dude,
but,
I was busy walking. How could I have seen the signs? All of the wooden signs that were everywhere. How could I have seen them?
Dave, were you there? Were you watching? I don't know if you were in my stream last night or not. I can't remember for sure. Were you there during that part of it?
I did not see that part, no.
Okay, so Dave, just for you and the rest of the audience, I need to tell you, there's this big gated area.
It was difficult to get over the gate. It
was actually hard to get into. And all around it, all the way through it, every 5 feet, there's a sign saying, landmines, landmines. And Brandon's like, what's this? And just sprints off across of it. And somehow he made it like 3/4 of the way across without hitting one. And so I just followed his direct path. And then he hit one, and I died. And then
Leroy Jenkins.
He was our Leroy Jenkins. Justin, our buddy, came up to try to res us, and then we got ambushed by another team. We eventually all kept resing each other. We got, we got back. I was back to 100% health. We killed the other team that was there, and just as we're about to leave, Brandon steps on another landmine,
and we all die at once.
And we all died, and we all had like a lot of stuff on us.
Yeah.
Anyway,
insurmountable odds. That's what.
Insurmountable odds.
That's exactly what our friendship can overcome.
A sign could have told us. a sign did tell us, don't go in here. And we had to go in.
I climbed over the fence.
I'm aware. I followed you.
Whose fault's that?
It was my fault. It was
Okay, all right.
ultimately my fault.
All right.
But if you had been dead, you would have wanted me to come in there and res you, right?
I might not have died if you
Think
would have
about
come
it.
in there.
I was. Oh my god. Anyway, I like extraction shooters. I like this extraction shooter. It's a lot of fun, and I want to play some more. I think the alpha, I think it is right now, is going on for a few more weeks, and then they're gonna have an open beta, and then I think they said the game releases the end of the year. Like maybe that's just for the open beta. I don't know for sure, but eventually coming to consoles. So I'm excited to get in and dig in a lot more, and just see how much money I can make by going in and stealing tubes or whatever the loot is in there. Briefly, I want to talk also about Warhammer Space Marine 2. I got interested in this because Lockmort talked about it on an episode of Summit Side I was on with him, and he was describing it. I was like, wow, I forgot that game existed. I played it years ago and decided to hop back in. And then Brad ended up streaming it, and I was like, okay, now I really got to hop back in because Brad and I have been talking about wanting to play Space Marine 2 together when it comes out. And did somebody just edit my thing? Somebody just edit my thing to say 2?
Stop being a bitch. I just highlighted it.
You highlighted it. I typed 2 and I was wrong. I looked over because I wrote 2 down. I'm getting ready to play 2. Space Marine 1 is a lot of fun. It's an old school, I don't even know how to describe it. It's an old school shoot 'em up. I really like the fact that it brings back so many memories of like those early 2010 games where there are quick campaigns, 6-7 hours, brutal. There's a story there, of course, but the main thing is just shooting everything you can. It's very brutal. You get your health back by actually ripping apart orcs that you're fighting after you stun them. So that's a lot of fun. And then you get power ups and you get gear and you can throw grenades and you can use a rocket launcher and it's everything you could want. The crazy thing about this is that this game is very good, but this is like the anniversary edition. It's still, or not still, it goes for like $60 on Steam, and it's been years since this anniversary edition came out. It should not go for that much. I already had it, so that wasn't a problem, but this game didn't even release at $60, I don't think, and then even right before they announced Space Marine 2, it was down to like $8 on Steam. Once they announced Space Marine 2, they bumped this back up to $60. So go find a code somewhere because I guarantee it's going to be cheaper than buying it directly on Steam. Go like to Aniba or something. I'll give you my affiliate link if you want, or CD Keys, wherever you want to go and pick it up because like if you're looking for a quick 7-8 hour game, whatever, it's there. And then there's also a multiplayer mode, which I haven't dove into, but apparently it's still active all these years later. Space Marine 2 comes out in a few weeks, and I'm pretty excited for it. It looks like it's going to be much more robust and much more in depth than Space Marine, the first Space Marine game was. But every time I play or see a Space Marine franchise game, it makes me want to get into building miniatures like I tried to do in college. And then I remember I have a budget I need to keep, and I can't do that. So anyway, that's Space Marine. I'm having a lot of fun with it. 3/4 of the way done. I could probably finish it in like another hour. Oh my god, guys! Just... I think it's time for the show to be done. Unfortunately, we're at that time. But we've gone a little long here. We talked a lot about O&L, but we're gonna get out of here. Don't forget to sign up on Patreon to help support us for as little as $1 a month. We appreciate your help. We appreciate your support. You also join us over on Discord at handsomefandom.com/Discord. Hang out with the boys and the girls and
Anybody.
talk about games. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Appreciate everybody hanging out in chat. Appreciate everybody who downloads the show. Appreciate everybody who watches after it's live. Appreciate you. Goodbye. There was something earlier that Brandon said that I was laughing at real hard, but I can't remember what it was. And it had nothing to do with Delta Force.
I don't remember either.
Well, we need a name. When Brandon dies because he wandered into a municipal electrical generator, we will all understand. Yeah. I tried to play, what was that game? Oh, I forgot to talk about Hunt, but I didn't play that much of it. But when I tried to play, when I When I tried to play Hunt with Brandon, I was very worried
Showdown of
because
the cunts.
sound is so important in that game.
I did great.
You did fine, but I was so worried because he can't like not run into danger immediately.
I would never do that.
Any ideas for a name, boys?
Oh,
I don't think we have Poot here to help. What?
O&L.
Oh no. So what is Black Myth? I have access to it and I don't know if to bother. Just
What do you-
watch
what do you-
watch a trailer of it, Ed.
the fuck do you mean you have access to it? Steam Family.
Probably the same way we do.
The acronym is BMW. Just interesting.
Check engine light.
No signals.
Aggressive driving.
What are you on about?
BMW drivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to trust you guys. I haven't played it yet, Ed. I haven't played Black Myth Wukong yet.
Dude,
How am I
go-
supposed to tell you what it's about?
Go to opencritic.com.
Ed, last time I brought it up, you poo-pooed it for being, I think you called it Chinese vaporware or something. So
China.
I remember that.
you can't play it. You're not allowed because you
Just-
poo-pooed it.
Just gift me a copy instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I legitimately can't tell you anything about it, Ed, because I haven't played it or really even watched it.
Pretty much
So.
a monkey bonks. Monkey man bonk.
That does seem to be the gist
A
from
boss
the
rush
scene.
game. I've been watching people play it, and I don't think for the entire show, and I don't think I've seen someone fight a regular enemy. It's just boss, 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 boss. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I want to check it out for sure, boys.
But at full price, I don't know. I think the developer will be okay if I don't buy it.
I think
Probably.
maybe.
Probably. Never know.
Enslaved Odyssey to the West. I guess they're based on the same book, right? I never
Are
made
they?
that connection
I did not know that.
because it's they're both the book is called Journey to the West, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's get out of here. Goodbye, everyone.
See ya.
See you later.